Hello guys, and welcome back to the channel. Now guys, the battle between the dollar-loving governor of Kano State, Abdullahi Ganduje, and the Emir of Kano, Lamido Sanusi, is a war without end. This is a battle that would never reach any real meaningful conclusion, but what this battle highlights is that enormous powers has been vested in the hands of these governors that have rulership over individual states within Nigeria, to the detriment of the traditional rulers that the individual dominions have. So this now is a real cause of concern, because the position of a governor is of course transient, and the position of a traditional ruler is a lifetime commitment. So the relationship, of course, between a traditional ruler and the subject is a relationship that is direct and is long-standing, and the relationship between a governor and the people of the state that he governs is really also transient. It's transient because, of course, the tenure of the governor is defined by the constitution. It can only serve a maximum of 2 terms, and again, of course, the relationship is also subject to the route that that governor used to enter that space. Of course, he can be rigged into that position, and oftentimes he is. Therefore, he feels no loyalty to the people, and the people have no affinity to him. But the people, of course, have an affinity to their traditional ruler, because they were born under the rulership of that traditional ruler, of that traditional stool. It may well not be that particular ruler, but they were born under the stool of that rulership. So any person born in Kano, for instance, is born under the dominion of the Emir of Kano, whoever the Emir is. Anybody that is born in Oyo is born under the dominion of the Alafin, no matter who the Alafin is, and that person has that relationship with the Alafin, the Emir, the Obi, etc., which is a lifetime relationship. The Omonoba in the Bendel State, Edo, Delta, etc., you know their relationship. They particularly take to their Obas in the Delta regions, the Edos and the Benins, etc. They take to their Obas with a real fervor, with almost like a passion and a zeal, almost to a frightening degree. So the relationship really between the traditional rulers and the people is more direct and is lifelong, but the relationship, of course, between the governor is transient, as we described. So if the constitution then gives these governors dominion over the traditional rulers, what they could do then, by virtue of being drunk on power, and you know, of course, the average Nigerian politician, especially the governors, is a demigod unto himself, is a little mini Hitler. Most governors within the Nigerian space, they are so subsumed by the power of their post that they often get carried away. And this is now what is playing out now in Kano State to our viewing, because of course we have seen this severally in places like Oyo State, especially under that Ajimobi character, who was having the Olubado and the Alafin come to his office to come and do rankadede to him, instead of him, of course, going to the palaces to do rankadede to the ancestral leaders and fathers of the people that he purports to govern. So this is now the descriptive that sets the precursor to the video as I bring you this. Court affirms that Ganduje has powers to dethrone any emir, and that of course includes the Emir of Kano, Lamido Sanusi. So that's the headline. Court affirms that Ganduje has powers to dethrone any emir. So now let's see now what the dollar lover is contending with the emir with this time around. An application for an interim order to stop Governor Abdullahi Umar Ganduje of Kano State from interfering with the powers of the Kano Emirate kingmakers has been declined by a Kano High Court. Justice A.T. Badamisi to Justice A.T. Badamisi on Tuesday, December 17, declined the application to extend the order pending the determination of the substantive suit as filed by the council to the kingmakers in suit number K/197/2019. Tuesday's judgment, which affirms the powers vested in the governor under the new Kano State Emirate Council Law 2019, also gives him the power to dethrone any emir found violating any of the provisions of the law. So now this is essentially what is going on within that space. So what this Abdullahi Ganduje has done effectively is to create for himself a law that gives him dominion over all of the emirates that makes up the Kano State space. The Kano State, I think, has about 7 sub-emirates, with the Emir of Kano having supervisory rights over all of those emirates. So you think, of course, that the Emir of Kano is the overall Emir of the whole of Kano, and he is, of course. But then, of course, there are other sub-emirs within that space. It's a bit like in Yoruba land, when you have, for instance, the Alaafin or the Obas, and then you have all these lesser Obas and all these Baales who have their own settlements, but they, of course, they are over the overarching superior positioning of the Oba or the Alaafin, etc. So it's the same system in Kano. They have all these sub-emirates that has positioning under the overall overarching supervisory positioning of the Emir of Kano. So this is really the structure there as well. But what this Ganduje guy has now done for himself is that he has now created a law that now gives him a supervisory right over all of the supervisors of the emirate, and that includes, of course, the Emir of Kano as well, to the point that he has that fiat to sack them at will. So he has now created this law, and this law, of course, has now been passed by the Kano State Assembly, and that then gives him then that legal footing to go after any emir that doesn't toe the line. And of course, then when you go to law, the law, of course, that the judges will look at are the laws, of course, that subsist in that state. And the subsisting laws are these laws now that has newly been created by this guy. Let's just have a look again to see when this was done. So it says Tuesday's judgment, which affirmed the powers vested in the governor under the new Kano State Emirates Council Law 2019. So that is really the pertinent bit of that whole narrative. Although the law now that they're using to apply is a law that they've created essentially for this purpose. So under the new Kano State Emirate Council Law 2019, effectively a law that's been created this year. So effectively this guy giving himself the powers to have supervision over all of the emirs within that space. But then, of course, as we said, the relationship between the citizens of Kano, which is the second largest city in Nigeria, by the way, I think 7 to 10 million population, if not more, I'm just guessing roughly now, is about the population of that space. So a vast city, almost a country in itself, because that's bigger than the population of maybe Sierra Leone and Liberia, etc., all these small little African countries. So almost a country unto itself. So the emir then that has this direct relationship with these people has now had its position diminished by this act of fiat by this person that was elected, although a lot of people will argue with you that Dollar Ganduje was not actually elected. It was just put in there. It was appointed by Malam Buhari. That appointment was assented to by Professor Mahmoud Yakubu, and it was fait accompli over the faith of the people of Kano State ever since. So this guy now has now abrogated to himself powers to now do and undo as it pertains to the Emir of Kano and the whole of the Kano Emirate. This is now the goings on within the Nigerian space, and this is really a cause of concern for a lot of people, because it's not just Kano, it repeats right across the board. These people, these governors, as soon as they take position, they go around lording it over all of the traditional rulers of that space, even though the traditional rulers sometimes were in that situation, in that position, probably when these people were in a secondary school or primary school, and then of course they'll be in that position long after these people have left the state house. But nonetheless, these people, as I said, have abrogated to themselves the powers of a demigod. conversations in the comment section. Dollar Ganduje is at it again. And by the way, the fact that he clearly knew that Lamido Sanusi was against him when he was running for a second term does not really serve the interest of Lamido Sanusi in this particular instance. So this is now, revenge is a dish best served cold. This is really what is playing out now. And this guy now, he would not be spurned by anybody, Emir or not, and he has now created a law for himself to now bulala the Emir. So come have a conversation with me around all this in the comment section. But before you do that, click on the red subscribe button so it turns gray. Bell button notifies you every time I drop a new video. Then come tell me what you are making of this move by the dollar-loving governor of Kano State, Abdullahi Ganduje. Come tell me what you are making of it in the comment section. So I'll leave you here. Carry on with you in the comment section. But here I say peace.